Well, hey guys, it's Kevin. Welcome to another YouTube video. This is the first video I've done in a while, so I've missed you guys, and I'm glad to be here doing just a quick little video for you with Photoshop, teaching you some things in Photoshop. And I have been busy lately, so I'm sorry about not uploading a YouTube video lately. But I am excited about this one, but I'm also excited about this new class I have coming up in January. By the time you're watching this video, the class may already be full. Like there's only 6 seats left for this training course. But you are welcome to check this out. I'll put the link in the profile in the description below, and then you can check out this course that I'm going to be offering. First time I've ever offered this course. And it's going to be something that is very in-depth with Photoshop and Christian art and all that stuff. So I'll just include a link below for that if you're interested in learning more about that. But what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be doing a picture about the rapture. Someone asked me to create a rapture picture, and I want to show you kind of my creative process on that one. And so I'm going to go ahead and show you my way I would handle something like that. So the first thing I did is I went to Google and I just started searching rapture pictures. And so this is one of the first ones I got. It's a stock image, but you see all these people who are floating up, and this person's in the foreground. Looks like they're in a building or something watching it. This picture right here is actually kind of scary, but it looks pretty cool. It's this person's in the foreground, and all these other people, or maybe they're not people, but all these others are going up. And then there's this picture, which is really cool. I think the person who did this photograph, I think it's the same person every single time, which makes it look pretty cool as well. But they're floating up into the sky, and then there's this one as well. It just looks like a woman right here standing in a field, and she sees all these people going up. And so those are some of the references I found, and I'll be inspired by these to create my own image. And so what I'm thinking is something pretty similar to those things for this project. I want to have someone that is in the foreground. So someone down here, there's my little stick figure, someone down here at the bottom, and then they're going to be like in a field or something. You know, in the Bible, it talks about when Jesus is saying that there's going to be 2 working in the field, and one will be taken and one will be left. And so this is going to be the one that's left. And so they're going to be down here in the field. And then up here, we're going to have these people who are going up as well. And there'll be some that are close by. There'll be some that's further away, just like that. So that's kind of the idea I have. Now, one thing I did want to think when I was thinking about this is I want to change it up a little bit. Because in these other images, like this person's really happy, they're like praising and everything. This person's really stoic, and this person's really stoic, and there's like no emotion with this person in the foreground. And so I did want to change that a little bit. And I thought about this person right here to be like very emotional, and so I thought that would be like another that might be a very helpful dynamic to this picture, because they're just seeing all these people go up to heaven, and they're not going to heaven. And so that might be in a very emotional event, you know. And so I want to do something like that, where the person in the foreground is not stoic and emotionless, but actually full of emotion. And hopefully that will help the power of this image. So I have those references. The next thing I did is I went to Unsplash, and I just spent some time going to Unsplash and looking up different pictures of skies and things and some fields. Like I found this picture of a field in Unsplash, and this picture of a sky, and all those things right there. And so I just went through and downloaded a bunch of different skies and everything. I have no idea which one I'm going to use yet, but I downloaded a bunch of them. And we'll go ahead and bring that into our background in just a minute. But the first thing I want to do is add a picture of that person. And this is where my own photography came in. So this is a picture of me in a emotional sense. I'm holding my head, and I am, upset about something, obviously. And so this is the picture I want to use of me. And to select it, all I did was quick select. So just go to, I'm sorry, not quick select. Go to Magic Wand and then select subject. I'm selected directly from the background. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to paste myself right in here about where that person should be. So actually, before I do that, let me go ahead and rename it. And we'll change it to a smart object. And we'll go ahead and bring you down. This is just a placeholder right now because I don't know where you're going to go. But you're going to go somewhere right in here. I do want to have him like in the rule of thirds So the rule of thirds would have them about right in this area. So I may have to move them a little bit, but we'll leave them right there for now. All right, so let's go ahead and start getting some backgrounds. I like this background. This is a field. Again, we talked about Jesus saying working in the field. This is definitely a field where workers could be. So I like this one. So let me go ahead and try this one real quick. I'm going to bring this field in here, kind of stick it right there, maybe make it just a little taller. Now, if I do it like that, obviously I'm too big for this, so I'm going to have to be a little bit smaller just to make sure I fit into the scene naturally. So something kind of like that, I think is good. And I think, I can move them around if I need to. I can even switch the background a little bit and transform that and go like this way. No, now I can't see that hay bale. I want to see that hay bale. So let's leave that in there. So we'll stick that right about there, and I think that's good for now. Yeah, I think that's okay. He still looks a little big. I may have to make him a little bit smaller. I'll stick him right about there. That might be just a little bit better. All right, now I want to change the sky as well. I like this sky. This is a pretty cool sky of mountains and stuff. Again, this is off of Unsplash. This isn't my own photography. I might use some of my own photography later, but for right now, we're going to use it like this. I'm going to bring this up. And I don't really want those mountains in the background per se, but something kind of like that. It's probably good. So let's go ahead and mask out some of these backgrounds. Oh, that looks pretty cool. That's interesting. It's not exactly what I was expecting. I'm going to make this little hill in the background a little bit shorter. So I'm just going to go to liquify. And we're going to make this hill smaller. I think it's just a little distracting now how these rolling hills are in the background. And I don't want distractions. Let's just make you a little bit smaller here. Click OK. Not bad. And then we'll just kind of scrunch you up like that. All right, that looks pretty interesting. That's not bad. Now I have a lot of other options. I can kind of play around with those. Like there's this one right here. This sky or this field could go in here somewhere. That's not bad either. Got a little bit of an issue with those mountains in the background, but that's not bad. I can do either one of those. But I kind of like that one. And I like this sky as well. But I can't see the horizon on it. So if I did that... All right, so I don't know if that's going to work out really well there. Darken. The problem is... Yeah, that's just not going to work. The problem is there's a bright sun on this image. You can see the fields being lit up. So if I put a dark sky in it, it's just not going to make a lot of sense. I could turn it upside down. I don't know why I would want to do that, but I could play around with it like this. Nope, I think we're just gonna get rid of it. We don't want it in there. All right, I think that's not bad. I'm torn in between the field and this field. I don't know that I can combine both of them. I do overlay. Oh, I don't think I can combine both of them. I don't know if I can get those hay bales into this one, which it wouldn't make a lot of sense if there were hay bales, but let's leave this one for now, and we may go back and change it. All right, so we've got our foreground. We got our foreground person. I can probably make him a little bit bigger now, like that. And we also have our sky and our background. Now let's go ahead and work on our sky. Our sky is a little bit too purple. Looks a little weird, so I'm just going to go, we'll do selective color. And let's see if we can make it, let's see what we can do here. I kind of want it to be like that sepia tone, but not too much sepia. Again, I haven't really planned this picture out, so you're just kind of seeing how I kind of just process some of these things. So I think kind of like that might be a little bit better. And then this sky right here, don't think it's going to matter too much here. I could bring it up just a little bit. Nope, that's going to look weird if I do it there. All right, I think I'm going to leave it like that for now. I could always go back and do some color grading later, which I know I will. So we'll just leave it like this for now. I think that's good. All right, let's go ahead and work on the model. The model needs to be a little bit darker. And actually, the model needs to be a little bit adjusted as well. There's a big bump in my back here, the way I'm arched, and I don't like that arch. So I'm going to unraster. I'm going to rasterize this, and then I'm going to do a little bit of liquefy on myself. I typically wouldn't liquefy other people without their permission, but this is myself, and so I will liquefy myself as much as I want. I don't know why there's a awkward little hump right there. Let's kind of tuck my shirt in just a little bit like this. And then my jeans kind of look a little bit weird back here. So I'm just going to kind of tuck these in just a little bit. Not that necessary, but sometimes my jeans don't lay the way I want them to. And so I'll just kind of mold things here and there. My little collar looks a little weird like that. Totally optional. Don't have to do these things. If you're 100% photogenic from the start, don't worry about this stuff, but I think kind of like that looks okay. Good enough. Why not? All right. Now let's go ahead and do a levels adjustment. Make him a little bit darker because we are in the sky, you know, so we're in the dusk, and so it's going to be a little bit darker, but not completely dark. So we'll take off some of this like that. And then I'm going to erase part on the edge. Make sure we have that nice highlight right on the side like that. And even a little highlight down here as well, like this. All right, let's give him a photo filter, make him a little bit warmer. So I just do a little yellow, orange photo filter on him, about like that. And now let's cut off those feet because they are standing in tall grass. And so I've got some brushes for that. Grass brushes are everywhere. You can certainly find them and download them and kind of get rid of some of these shoes here because I'm standing in the grass like that. Just like that. Just make this a little bit bigger. Good enough. That grass looks tall. It needs to be mowed. And let's go ahead and get a little shadow here. Shadows are pretty simple to make most of the time. A little shadow here. Looks like the shadow is mostly facing the sun or facing away from the sun. So I'll just kind of do something kind of like this. And I think that looks pretty good. Pretty good. I erase a little bit of these shadows with my grass brush and just reduce the opacity. And I think we're good. All right, we got a little shadow. He is in the grass. Is in the grass. That's before shadow and after shadow. We'll tone it down just a little bit more. Kind of like that. And I think we're good. And just to make it a little bit more intense here, I'm going to add just a little bit more white on the model. Just a little bit, especially like right here. You can't see my head. My head's kind of hidden in the shadow, but in reality, it would be getting a little bit of sun light here. Let's do this. go. All right, just a little bit. All right, before we start adding these people who are floating in the background, I do want to just add a little bit more haze and stuff to the background. And so I'm just going to grab some of these little yellowish brown colors here and just paint a little bit of haze right behind the model. Just a little bit, kind of lowering the contrast out just a little bit, kind of like that. And we'll do some more grading later, but I think just like that's going to be fine. And we'll add some noise to it. Oh, not that much noise. 1% noise, and I think that's pretty good right now. Change that to light. All right, so let's go ahead and start adding some people into it too. So we need to have some people who are floating. If you go to, let's go to Pixabay for a second. If you go to Pixabay and you search jumping, you get some pretty good options here. So jumping is a good one. Not floating. You don't find people who are floating. But like this picture right here, that looks pretty good. So we'll go ahead and download this one. So let's just go ahead and download this one. And we'll bring it into Photoshop. We got 2 people jumping, so that's 2 for the price of 1. So we're going to go ahead and just select subject, and let's make sure they're completely cut out here. It does not look like Photoshop did the best job in the world here. So I'm just going to make sure that they're selected properly. And didn't even get her arm right here, or get her little index finger right there. All right, did get her shoes pretty good. All right, so that looks pretty good for her. And for him, oh, he's holding a phone. Well, how, modern will this picture be? Holding a phone while getting raptured up. You probably won't even be able to notice it. He's going to be so small in the picture, but why not? Why not? All right, good deal. I think they are good. So let's just go ahead and copy and paste them, but I want to work on them one at a time. So let me just go ahead and grab her. Nope, we don't want that picture anymore. There we go. All right, so they're going to go in the background. So let me just go ahead and grab her real quick. This is our first one. I like how she's jumping. She looks excited going up to heaven. So I'm going to leave her about right here. She needs to be further away from the model, so she needs to be a little bit smaller. But I'm going to say something kind of like that. And that's going to be her going upward. About right there. Looks good. Okay. And for our other guy, let's grab him. Let's copy him. And let's bring him in here somewhere. Oh, I forgot to do a defringe. Make sure I do a defringe. All right, we're going to stick him in here somewhere too. I want him to be further away. I don't want him to be right here. So I'm going to stick him. I think we do want some like towards the top and further away. We'll work on that later. Maybe like way up here. I think that's good. I don't like his arm so much, so I'm going to do a puppet warp on him. Whoa, that wasn't good. And let's bring these feet like this. All right, I think that looks a little bit better. He's going to be so small, no one's going to notice. All right, so those are a couple options. Here's another option I found in on Unsplash. This jumping person right here. We'll just do a quick select, and we'll bring you in here. There you go. Let's do a layer, matting, defringe, and you're going to go. Let's make you further away. Let's make you about right here. And I also found this dude. He's actually facing towards the camera, which is a little bit different, but I like the variety. So we'll go ahead and bring him in here as well. And he's going to make more sense to be on this side. So I'm going to stick him. Actually, let's put him further away since he's going to be smaller. Do it kind of like this. So I am kind of, I'm not really doing my workers in the field. I was going to do like workers in the field. They're all like farmers and stuff, you know, but, or field workers. But I don't have a lot of pictures of field workers jumping up in the air. So there's that issue. So let's go back to jumping for, I'm on Pixabay now. Let's see if there's any more. Oh, there's a kid jumping. That could be pretty good. I'll think about that. Obviously, you got to be careful how they're jumping. You know, something like that just looks a little bit weird. You know, that's more of a athletic jump, not like a being called up to heaven jump. This jump right here doesn't make any sense either. So you got to, you know, be mindful of stuff like that. That one's pretty good, though, of the kid jumping. He is in the air. I think I'm going to try this one as well. I'm going to make sure he's nice and small, though. I don't want anybody to have their face recognized. When I use stock photos, I try not to make their face recognizable. Even though they are free images, I just want to make sure that they're pretty anonymous. It's kind of my goal with it. All right, so let's go ahead and bring him in, this little kid. And what I'll do to make it look like he's jumping higher is I'll go to a not liquefy. That's what I mean, liquefy. And it's going to kind of turn his toes downward just a little bit. Doesn't have to be perfect. We're going to blur them later anyway, so just want to make it look like his toes are pointing down. That looks good. And we'll stick him about right there. And let's see, do we have any more jumping pictures we can do? Let's see. I'll go back to Unsplash and try again. Oh, that one's good. He's got rain boots on, but that one's pretty good. Then there's this one. The problem is this one, I've seen this picture used everywhere, so I don't want to use this picture more than it's already been used. One of these could be good. Let me try this one. Again, thank you for watching this video. Again, it's just, you know, you're just watching me at work. I did not plan any of these things. These are all just organic little things I'm doing here. And so this might end up looking horrible in the end. I don't know. So we'll see. Hopefully not. If I've uploaded this video to YouTube, obviously it didn't turn out too bad. But I hope that just watching me work and watching my creative process, I hope it's an encouragement to you. I hope it's an encouragement to you to get out and do your own artwork as well, and realize that there's so many, you know, resources you have, and stock images and Photoshop and your own photography, and all this stuff is available to you. And if you want to use it to create some artwork, you have the ability to do that. And that's kind of my goal with that new class coming up in January. I want to equip as many new artists as I can who really feel like they have a passion for Christian art especially, but Photoshop art in general, and just want to be able to do that, and they don't know where to start. So I would love to be able to train and equip people just by showing them what I do, and then I hope that you can do it a lot better than I do. That's my goal as well. I don't want to be the best. I just want to be able to get as many people doing this stuff as I can train, so that the world can be filled with a lot more cool artwork. All right, so that looks okay. Again, I'm going to be blurring these, so I'm not too worried about the best selection. I like this girl jumping the best, so I'm going to copy her, and we'll stick her in here as well. She's going to be a lot smaller. We definitely want some like way here in the back, like that. And now I'm going to go to Unsplash. Let's go to Unsplash, and let's type in jumping. And I just want to get just a couple more. That one looks really cool, except it's taken from a very low angle, but it might still be good. We can try it. I've seen this picture used a lot, so I want to be careful not using the same picture that everyone else is using, but let's see if we can try to use this one. All right, so if I stuck her in there, I think that looks cool, but just I don't know if it's going to work well with this. I don't know if it's going to work with the focal length, because if she's further out here, or we could just stick her feet up here like that. Let's switch her. Don't even see her body. Just have like some feet, some random feet. Yeah, that could work right there. Make her a little bit larger, but just stick her right there. It might work. I can always get rid of her if I don't like it. And she would need to be closer. All right, I'm going to do it like that. Not have her head in it. Just use it kind of off the frame a little bit, like there. All right, let's get like 3 more or so, and then we'll be about done. Hey, there's that guy again. That one looks pretty good. Let's try this one. And we'll do our select subject again. Let's hopefully it selects it pretty good. It does. That's good. Grab you in here. We'll make you smaller. I think you can go way back here like this. Good. Right there. And let's stick you right about there. All right, let's see what else we got. 2 more, maybe? Maybe 2 more. Oh, that one's good. I like that one. I'm going to change his head a little bit, but I like it. And it did a good selection. How about that? Let's do this one. And let me do just a little puppet warp on him real quick. His head's just a little bit too much. Just a little bit too much going backwards. I'm going to do it kind of like this. Like that. All right. We're going to blur him, so it's not going to matter too much. He's going to be further away, so let's stick him in the back. And we'll stick him about... Yeah, let's stick him really far away. Like way over here. I'm going to flip you like this. Like that. All right, one more jumper, and then we'll start blending all these together. Let me find another kid jumping. So we'll do child jumping. Child jumping. The child's not jumping at all. Why does it got jumping on here? That's going into a pool. We don't want that one. Let me search child jump. Maybe that'll help out a little bit. That one looks good. I like this one as well, but I've just seen this picture too much, so don't want to use that one. Oh, I just don't like these as much. Don't like them as much. All right, let me do kid jump. Maybe that'll help out. Find a few extra ones in here. Oh, there's two of them together. That could be... I wasn't thinking about doing two together, but that could be an interesting little dynamic here. Let's try it. See if you select my subject. You did. Good job. Photoshop does do good sometimes. All right, let's stick this in here. So it's two kids. It's different. It's none of the other pictures we saw had two people in the same frame, so could be good. So let me stick them about right here. And then I'm going to move this one view over here. I'm going to move you over here. I want some kind of, I do want some overlap. I don't want all of the people like perfectly spaced out and they're not like behind anyone. Like they need to be behind people at times. And so you need to have some overlap. Because you cannot expect to be perfectly, everyone is perfectly like, you know, spaced out with no overlap. That's just not, that's not a reasonable expectation. And so do this like that. I feel like I need one more person over here just to fill this little gap. So let me get one more person. Is there another kid jumping? Oh, there's some shoes. Let's try some shoes. Like we did earlier. And we'll just get rid of all that stuff. All right, that should be pretty good. Let's bring this over here. Oh, it still grabs some other stuff. We'll just kind of stick a shoe, two shoes. Yeah, we'll just make it a little bit smaller. We'll put two shoes right here. Okay. Kind of like that. All right, so now all I want to do, I've got everyone I wanted, I think. I'm pretty sure I got everything I wanted. So I'm just going to move these things around just a little bit. And then we'll start blending them in a little bit better. I do want to copy just a couple of them to put them even further away. Like, so this guy right over here, I'm going to rotate him, make him really small, and stick him here way in the background, just like 2 miles away. And then this, oh, I don't want to do it too much. Let's take this guy. We'll do another one way over here, like that. Just stick him like that. Oops. All right, just trying to get the right composition here. I think that's good. That's good. All right, we're going to call it a day with that. All right. That was a pretty boring part of this video. I hope that you are still awake. I hope you're still awake. We are moving right along here. I do want to make sure, for example, this couple right here, where there's two of them, they did have a few little things that got attached to them. Let me make sure that those are gone. These little things. Sometimes Photoshop does bring more in here than we want. So we'll make sure that looks all right. And I wouldn't mind doing a little bit of a puppet warp on them, just so that their heads can be going up. Looking up. There we go. That's all I wanted. All right. Very good. Very good. All right, for the most part, these people are going to be pretty small. I don't want them to be recognizable if possible. If possible. So I do want them to be pretty small. Except for this one right here. She's probably the most photogenic of all of them, and so I think she needs to be in here pretty close. That looks good. All right, let's make sure we have everyone where we need to go. This girl is going to go first, and then this girl over here is going to go behind her. And then probably the next one is this guy, so he needs to go up here. Let's go right here, and then probably this guy is next. This guy will be further down, and then most of them are further back, so I think that's okay. All right, now what do? We got all these people. Let's put them all into a group. It's a lot of layers, but there's all of our people. And we need to make sure that they look like they belong. And so we're going to do a levels adjustment on them, and we're going to make them a lot less contrasty. So let's bring the lights way in, make it nice and dark, but let's take out some of the darks. So we don't want it to be totally black, because they are off into the atmosphere. The atmosphere is a little bit red, so let's go ahead and add just a little bit of red here. And let's also take out a little bit of blue. And that should help just a little bit. Now, we can do a little bit of overlays on here. So I'll do just a little bit of painting, just a little bit of dodge and burn, but not much. Not much. So this girl right here, she needs to have just a little bit of definition, but not a lot. And then this girl as well, she needs to have a little bit of definition on her right side, like that. And then up here as well. All right, that looks better. Now, they're all the same, though. And so the further they are away, the more atmosphere they're going to have on them. And so we want to be mindful of that as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to go, I'm going to make a new layer on top of all of them. And I'm going to just start sampling some colors in the background. So like this color right here. So like this color right here is kind of this pinkish color. So I'm just going to start painting it on this girl right here, getting some atmosphere around her. This girl right here, the same thing, just a little bit of pink atmosphere around her. Then like this guy over here, put some blue on him, make him look like he's really far away, kind of like that. And same thing over here. Got a little bit of purple on these guys, this guy right here. And the further they are away, the less details you can see. And so you can kind of almost paint them completely of that color without really worrying about losing details, because you're going to lose details. This guy right here is going to have more on him than this girl in the front. So we're going to paint just a little bit on him like that. And these two right here are further away, and this guy right here is further away. So just a little painting that we're doing, making some of them look further away than others. That's the main thing that we're trying to do here. Okay, you can see the difference there. It's definitely made things a lot more, add some depth to it. Now I'm going to do the same thing again, but this time I'm not going to clip it. And I'm going to do the same thing, but even more subtle. And I'm going to start painting some of the sky over these people, but it's going to go all over the scene. Just make it nice and subtle for these people. You want to look like the atmosphere is certainly interacting with them, and so it's just kind of hard to make out the details. They're so far away, some of them are. Like this. There we go. So in general, you want the person in the foreground to be the darkest. They're going to have the less atmosphere affecting them. So you want to definitely have the people in the background are going to be a lot more, they're kind of fading out into the background. And so that's kind of what I want to do there. Let me do one more here and just kind of do some overlays. Good. And now, let's see if I can. All right, that is not bad. It's not bad. I think they're all going in the right direction now. I do want to go back and just do a little bit. These people right here, I want them to be just a little bit smaller, further away. I want this kid to be smaller, like that. And I wouldn't mind, I'm going to duplicate like this kid right here. I'm going to stick him way back in the back, because I want to feel like, as you get further away, you're going to see even more people, like a lot more people back here that are further away from the camera. So I'm going to stick them back there as well. Just make them so small. We're going to blur them in a minute, so it shouldn't matter too much here. Like that. There we go. And let me just go back up and paint them pretty good. Like this. There we go. They're almost like just little lines here in the background. We could paint some of them if we wanted to. All right. I think that looks pretty good right now. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start to blur some of these people. So I'm going to blur this girl right here in the middle. And we're going to do a motion blur on her. Going straight up, almost straight up. And it's going to be pretty subtle, 70 or 80 pixels, something like that. Maybe less, something like that. And then some of these other ones are going to be a little bit less. This girl right here, probably just like 20 or so. But some of these in the background, going to have them more blurred. Okay. And I'm just going to go one at a time. That's really all we're doing here. All right. We're going to blur him a lot. Like that. All right. This one, blur him a lot as well. Blur that one a lot. Like that. All right, and so just adding this little motion blur. This guy up here at the top, I'm not going to add as much on him. Kind of do it like that. You certainly cannot tell the identity of these people, which is what I wanted. I didn't want you to be able to tell the identity. this one. All right, is everyone blurred? I think this is the last one. Everyone is now blurred. All right, that is good. Everyone's blurred. I think we're doing great here, and I think this is looking pretty good. All right, so how much time do I have? I wanted to do this in an hour. We got just a couple more minutes. So what I want to do now is I just want to do a little bit of color grade here, and I'm just going to kind of play around with different options here and see how this goes. Let's see what we can do here. I'm going to do brightness and contrast first. Bring this brightness up and the contrast up. Like that. But now I'm going to go to apply image. See how that looks. Let's actually go this way. Let's make the brightness go down. Like that. There we go. This is going to be more like a painterly look when we do it like this. So I may or may not like it, but something kind of like that. And let's duplicate it. Do it like this. Definitely more painterly look than like a photograph, but I think it could work. All right, let's add some vibrance to it. Now it's really painterly. It's extremely painterly, but that's okay. Do want to add some sun glare in here. I do have a picture I can do this one. Let me just use one of my own photographs. If you've watched any of my tutorials, you know that I like to use my own photographs, and so I'm going to try to do that for this one. You've probably seen me use this picture before. Let me find it real quick. Of some light. There we go. There's some light. I'm going to bring this in here. We're going to drag it right here and screen it like this. And I just want this to go like right behind him. This is where the sun is kind of like setting like that. But you can't see the emotion as well, so I'd probably want to make it a little bit smaller. And you can't really tell what's going on with that, so I may want to let's put it right here for now. We'll stick it right there, and then we'll do another one, but this one will be a lot lighter, like that. All right, I think that looks all right. All right, let's see if I can make my sky look just a little bit different. So I'm going to have to go to where the people are at. Oh, yeah, I guess I should probably erase these edges here. We're about done, though, guys. I hope that you've enjoyed watching this. It's, you know, a lot of fun stuff that you can do with just using some stock photos and your own imagination, and just have fun with it. All right, let's do some darkness here on the background like that. I don't want it too dark. I want it to be bright. Like I want it to be like a happy moment. You know, it's a happy moment for most of these people. This person in the foreground, it's not necessarily a happy moment for him. Okay, probably not going to do that. I don't think that looked very good doing that. So we're just going to scrap that. Let's go back down to the version of me. Like that. And I might change the color of my shirt. My shirt is purple, which is fine, but I might make it blue instead. That's not going to work. Let's see if I can make it blue. There's a blue shirt. Let's just change that to hue or color. We'll change it to hue. All right, so you really can't even tell. It's not even that much going on here. And I do want to make sure it's just a little bit more contrasty. Like that. And I feel like I need to add just a little bit more white highlights here, just to show that little rim light. Right there. There's my head. There's my finger. You can see the Photoshop did not do the best job of cutting me out, and I'll fix that in a minute, but just want to make sure that we have this little highlight where my head is. So you can kind of make out what's going on there. All right, so now at this point, I think we can probably do some final color grading, and then we will be done with this. And I'll be done at the 1 hour mark, which is awesome. Let's do a gradient map. Let's do purple and yellow. That looks pretty good like that. Let's also do some adjustments here. All right, I think we're doing good. All right, guys, I think I'm just about done with this one. I hope that you've enjoyed this video. I hope that you've enjoyed just watching how everything's just kind of come together. Just using stock images. That's really all that I was using. It's just stock images. And some of it was my own photography. But just having a lot of fun with it. That's really all that was going on here. Just having fun. Using stock images to have fun and be able to tell a story here. And the story here obviously is that this person right here is getting left, and he is just not handling it very well. And but for these people, it's a joyful event. And so I'm trying to tell a story with this. Thank you for the person who suggested that I do a Rapture picture, and I was challenged by this, but I had a fun time doing it, and just glad that I had you along for the ride, and I hope that you enjoyed this video as well. But that's all I got for today. Again, check out that tutorial I'll put in the that class I'm teaching. I'll put it in the description below, and you can watch that and sign up for that class if there's still spots available. And I look forward to going into 2023 with just the attitude of training up as many people as I can, trying to help artists get as many tools as they can so they can make awesome artwork as well. But guys, that's all I got for now. Thank you again so much for watching this video, and I will see you at the next one.